Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule very well to this very day, that is feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And also shalom to the hopeful elect that's also doing the same things in this work, that is pushing forth this gospel to the other members of the hopeful elect and showing forth your faith by fully giving it your all and its truth to make your calling and election sure, and faith and truth and sincerity, and also in all charity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled "The Patience and Faith of Saints." Okay, the patience and faith of saints. So when you read about the patience and the faith of the saints, all right, our patience and our faith, according to the Bible, in which Lord's will, we're part of that hopefully elect number, and we're part of the saints that the scriptures speak about. Our patience and our faith is to see Esau or Edom, which is the true biblical nationality of the so-called white man, to see this nation in chains and in captivity. All right. And that's also the mentality of our royalty. All right, that's the mentality of kings. Okay, if you're expecting a kingdom and rulership, you have to have subjects under you. Okay, what's the point of having a kingdom and rulership and of usurping authority over the nations if you don't have someone under subjection, or some people that are under you? Okay, that's the mentality of kings, and that's what it really means to be in a king-like mentality. All right, having a ruling class mentality. Okay, this is our patience and our faith to see Esau, Edom, go into slavery. All right, see, because slavery and having somebody rule over you, that's always been like that ever since the beginning of time. All right, you always had a people that's over another people. Okay, you had rulerships. You have different kings and royal lines, and that's never changed. All right, even today, you have here in America, you have a ruling class of people that are in rulership, and it has a certain authority over the people, and that's here in America. All right, so guess what? In the time that we're coming into, the next rulership, which is going to be the rulership of Israel, starting with Yahweh, who is the Heavenly Father, and His Son Yahweh Shai, who was seated at the right hand of the Heavenly Father, who's going to receive the kingdom. The ones who's going to be below us are the other nations: Elam, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, and especially the ones who's going to get the worst and the brunt force of the captivity is going to be Esau, Edom, because he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of, and he's also known as the devil and Satan. All right, which, if you go into those words, devil and Satan, all right, it doesn't mean somebody with horns, with red skin, or a red jumpsuit with a trident, all right, and a pitchfork. No, man. That word devil goes into the word Diablo, which means deceiver, and the word Satan goes into the Hebrew word Shaitan, which means adversary. Okay, because the adversary to the Israelites, especially Yahweh Shai, who is of the tribe of Judah, our main adversary is who? Esau. Okay, and he's always been our adversary ever since Jacob and Esau were born, from the came out of the loins of Isaac. Okay, so again, this is the mentality of rulership. All right, to be over someone. And if you don't want that, that just means that you're weak-minded. Okay? For the ones that think that, you know, slavery is the most horrible thing created on the planet Earth, or think it's such a bad, you know, it's such a bad event, then you got to take it up with the Most High, all right? Because the Most High is the one that set up rulerships and kingdoms and having one people over another. If you go read Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, he deemed Israel to be above all people upon the face of the earth. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the precepts I have here. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. You know, this is the tried and true precept. But, you know, it speaks volumes, man. This is our Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Okay? And who has led into captivity in this time today? Esau, Edom. Okay? They have led into captivity, and guess what? They're going to go into captivity. All right? You know, in their feeble minds, they think that their rulership is going to continue forever. All right? Not knowing that the prophecy of them going down is going to be fulfilled. And it must needs be fulfilled. Look at the earth and look how everything is deteriorating and corroding and being destroyed under the rulership of this devil. Okay, and it's only right for him to be in chains because he's a fugitive, man. All right, he's committed crimes that hasn't even been answered for, all the way from his youth up. All right. And it not only dates back to the Roman Empire and the Greek Empire, that also stems back towards when we was being taken down by Babylon. Okay? And they forward the affliction. They made sure that the Babylonians took all of us down. Even before that, the scriptures deem him as a murderer from the beginning. All right? Which really Esau is the reincarnation of Cain, if you really go into the scriptures, you know. But that'll be another video for another topic, or another topic for another video. It's like you. All right. To go into Cain and Esau. So again, it says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." Because this man has been blessed with the sword, and he has been using it to the fullest extent. And guess what? That sword is going to continue to be sharpened, and it's going to continue to be used. And this is through the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, because Esau is the Lord's sword, who he's going to use to go through the land and smite. All right? Until his time is up. And when his time is up, then he will call for the hunters, pursuant to Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16, where the fishers will become the hunters. Okay? And he's going to send for the hunters to hunt after Esau and the people that reside here in Babylon, which is known as America. All right? So reading on, it says, "Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." So this here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? This is our patience and this is our faith. This is what we believe in. This is what we're patiently waiting on. Okay? We're patiently waiting on the downfall of our enemies. Okay, I'm move on from there. I'm going to get Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. It said, "Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, the power of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together." See? Because it's not only, or should I say this, you had the transatlantic slave trade, in which all of the nation of Israel took part in that. All right? Or we were involved in that. All of us went down in captivity as a nation, starting with the Northern Kingdom, when Christopher Columbus, which is really, his real name is Cristobal Colon, which he came over and he took over took over the northern tribes, and that's when they went into captivity. And then afterwards followed the southern kingdom with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. But what's widely known is so-called Negroes going into captivity. All right, because of course Judah is the head tribe, so that's why the spotlight, so to speak, or it's more widely known about the captivity of the so-called Negroes, which is Judah. Okay, but still, Judah and Israel, right, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, were oppressed together as a nation. Okay, reading on, it says, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go, and there's a reason why. Okay, let me get it real quick. All right, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. It says, and he that stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Okay? Were we not stolen as a people? Yes, we were. All right? They held us captives and they held us fast and they refused to let us go. And guess what? That still hold fast to this very day. Okay? Because no matter where you go, guess what you got to take with you? Your ID, showing that you're a so-called American citizen, to even go and travel to other parts of the world. No other nation is required to do that. All right? Ishmael is not required to do that. Moab is not required to do that. Which Ishmael is the so-called Arabs. The Moabites are the so-called Chinese. Okay? Am is not required to do that. The so-called Japanese, man. Okay? All these other nations, they're not required to do that. But guess what? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans got to do it. All right? To even leave. So we're still in this man's hands. And guess what? We're going to be found in this man's hands. And when that happens, guess what? They're going to be put to death. But they're not going to get off on an easy slate, because death is easy to put someone to death and send them to the spirit world. No. What Yahweh Shemel Shai has in store for the Edomites is a long, drawn-out captivity. All right? So going back to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 34, it says, their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemel Shai, is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Okay? So this is in the mind of the Lord to take down these devils. This is because guess what? Back during the time of the Romans and the so-called Jews, the so-called Jewish Amalekites of the nation of Edom will tell you that the Romans, the Greeks and the Romans that were ruling back in time were the Edomites. All right, not knowing that they're also Edomites. Okay, trying to shift the blame on the nation of Edom, not knowing that they are those people. Okay. Now I got another precept that I want to grab. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3. And I'm going to start at let's see, Slakia. Right, so this is Joel chapter 3, verse 3. It says, and they have cast lots for my people. All right. Now, when you cast a lot, all right, let's say you have a coin. All right, you flip a coin. That's casting a lot. All right. So when you had the Edomites that were casting lots for our people, that was when they were taking us and they were putting us on auctioning blocks to the best bidder, all right, the highest bidder, to see who was going to get who was going to get a so-called Negro man or a so-called Negro woman, and even sons and daughters. Okay, and that's also part of the curses. Did the so-called Jewish or the so-called Jews go through that? No, they didn't. Did any other nation ever go through that? Go through the process of us being on auction blocks and having your sons and daughters stripped away from you and being separated from your family and being taken to the fields to serve a slave master? Who other nation went through that, man? All right, none other but the so-called Negroes, also the so-called Hispanics and the so-called Native American Indians went through that. Okay, because they went through it during the time of the Spanish. The Spanish took them captives and they gave them over to the highest bidder. All right, and that's history that's not even talked about. Okay, back in verse 3 again, it says, "And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink." All right, and it's not even or I want to say organic wine, but it's not even 100% wine. All right, to add insult to injury, the wine that or a strong drink that they would give in exchange for the Israelites were watered down wine. All right. Now, as at verse 4, it says, "Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?" Now, Tyre and Zidon represents the Hamites, or what you would know today as the so-called Africans. All right, because there's a separation between us and the so-called Africans. All right, we are two different nations. Okay. Now you have Israelites that are on the western part of Africa that reside there today, which they reside in the majority of the western part of Africa, and those are Israelites. All right, the Nigerians. All right, you have other tribes as well, or other people that's on the western part of Africa, and those are Israelites, man. All right, but in the other parts of Africa, right, the eastern part, I believe the northeastern part, basically in those regions, you have the original Hamites. All right, especially the Sudanese, because the Sudanese are the original Egyptians. Okay, and guess what? The Hamites took part in the downfall and the captivity of our people. All right. So that's why it's written here in verse 4. It says, "Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine?" All right. And I believe you're going to the word Palestine, and it goes back to the word Philistine. All right, which again goes back to the nation of Ham. Okay. It says, "Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head." And that's right, because they have no excuse, because they took part in the transatlantic slave trade. All right, so if they try to recompense or try to pay us back, so to speak, then guess what? Swiftly going to return that upon their own head, because they also took part in that. Okay, verse 5, it says, "Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians." All right. Now, who are the Grecians that's talking about? He's talking about the Edomites. All right. Because the Grecians, that word Grecian means Greek. All right. And we already know that the ones who were known as the Greeks back during the time of the Greek Empire, going to the Roman Empire, are Edomites. Okay. So Israel was given over to the Edomites by the hands of Ham. All right. Read on, says that you might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where they have sold them, which is America, Babylon the Great, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai has spoken it. All right. So we're going to take your sons and your daughters and separate them from you. All right. And take you and cart you off into captivity. All right. And guess what? It's going to be far worse than what we had to deal with. All right. And it's only right and fair. Okay. And this is right and fair in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. So once the rulership is usurped, okay, and we're back in rulership, that's when it's going to take place. Okay. So live it up. All right. The book of Lamentations says, rejoice, O daughter of Edom, for that cup is going to pass on to you. That cup of slavery, that cup of trembling. All right. The cup of captivity, man. So I'm going to go ahead and end off on that note. Lord's will is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. I once again want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well to this day. Shalom, peace and safety, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's continually plowing in his work, giving your diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth and sincerity, and all charity. And with that, goes to Shalom.